Hey everyone, welcome to today's Sunday live charting analysis. Welcome all of you today. I hope you are having a beautiful day. I've got the proper Miami attire on so I can get outside and maybe do a little boating when we are done here. But welcome to all of you. I hope to see you in the comments section saying hello. We're going to be looking at crude oil, natural gas, gold. We've got NASDAQ, US30, SP 500, and then a few currency pairs as well for our Forex traders. So welcome to all of you. I definitely want you to jump into the chat. And as it says below, say hello in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from because we are about to get started with our bread and butter in our group. Welcome to all the futures traders that we have in our group as well. Everyone who's trading CL along with us as well. Awesome. Great to be here. So we're going to be jumping in as well. So make sure that you are saying hello in the comments. I just want to give a couple of shout outs to our friend Abdul. Hello to you. Rahul, welcome and hello to you. Sabrina, welcome and hello to you. And if you are watching the recording, meaning after the live event, I'm going to have this time stamped so that way you can go ahead and just fast forward to these particular areas. Okay. Hello, our good friend Junaid. Hello. Deepak. Hello, everyone. Hello. Goose. What's going on, my good friend? Welcome. Vinayak. Welcome. And I apologize if I say anyone's name incorrectly. Aslam, welcome, our good friend in our trading app, Gerhard. Welcome to all of you. Let's get started with crude oil. Let me get this comment off the top here. Throw some crude oil news happening down at the bottom, and let's get rocking and rolling. Okay, so let's start with the weekly chart, right? We have an interesting pattern happening right here on the weekly. Okay, we've got that trend line that is being hit now for a fifth straight time. So the question is, what is going to happen in that trend line area? Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that circle. And so we're going to begin to evaluate crude oil from a bigger perspective. Okay, now if we look here on crude oil, right, we did close a little bit lower, obviously, than that area, but we are at this critical stage of the trend line. Okay, we are at this critical stage of the trend line, which if we look over to our left is still pretty consistent with a pretty strong level over here. Okay, so obviously the week will start brand new at Sunday market open, and so we are going to do our analysis from every angle to give you as much value as possible while you are here. And if you have questions, you can definitely drop it in the comments. I will speak as slow as possible. I don't care how long this stream takes. I want to give you the value for showing up today across all these different pairs. But we obviously will spend a little bit more time on crude oil. Okay, so we are definitely going to kind of take a look at what's happening here off of this trend line. Okay, so a couple of things to kind of note. I always kind of like to take a look at the Fibonacci levels from where our initial swing low to swing high began. Okay, so you can see here that this is nice to see that our trend line is also in where we talk about a lot in our group about oil pushing deeper into the fib levels, right? The deeper we can push into the fib levels, okay, the better that we are because we get price at a much better entry. Okay, so this is what we're going to have to look out for on a bigger term. If we close, okay, now again, this is a daily candle, right? If we close below this 100, okay, which is about 70, 73, if you're on this trading view chart, and or if you're watching on your phone, I'm going to do my best to call out the numbers as well, right? If we close below this 100 fib level right here, then we should expect price to drop into the 60s. Okay, this is going to be a critical level because if you notice here, we don't have too many closes. All we have are wicks. Okay, if we get a strong candle to close below this candle right here, okay, which is 70.43, if we get a close below there, then we could see price action coming further down, which will take us to about 68, 69. But we have a long way to go there yet. We are not there yet, my friends. So let's wait. Let's not speculate. Remember, one of the things we talk about in our group all the time, we will trade what we see and not what we think, because you can see all these different news reports happening, and it really does not matter because price action is always going to be king. So let's drop this now to our 8-hour perspective. And here we're going to begin to draw zones so that you can have some massive value moving forward. So let me invite all of you, if you are on your computer or on your laptop or iPad, wherever you are, if you want to open up TradingView to this chart, I want you to follow me and mark up your charts as well. Now, if you're in the trading club, you don't have to worry about that. As soon as I'm done marking this up, we'll be going over to the club, dropping this chart. And so, of course, you'll be getting all the charts and everything else. Okay, so let's get back into crude oil. So we're going to keep that trend line there, and we're going to keep that fib level there. Okay, so we definitely need to look at this area right here. This is going to be our first major level of support. Okay, so as we are marking this, I want you to go ahead and mark 74. I want you to go ahead and mark 75.20 or so right here. So we're going to use these fib levels as our major 8-hour support and resistance levels. Okay, let me grab a box here, and we're going to mark this up. And we're going to clean this up as we move a little bit lower on the time frames. Okay, so as we look at the 8-hour, we are definitely going to see what happens here. This is going to be critical, this area right here, right? What price is going to do. Now, again, it is Sunday. I am expecting some sort of a gap, maybe a pretty big gap. So we shall see. And so, in my opinion, we might be gapping up, but we're going to talk more about the gap as we drop down. So we are respecting this trend line so far. We're coming to an area of the 88.6 on the fib level, which already touched it and rejected it. And then we are at an area that has previous support areas. Okay, so a lot of things are lining up for the possibility of crude oil to begin its drive upwards. Okay, barring any major gap to the downside, of course. So we shall see. So on this 4-hour level, we are definitely looking at these areas right in here as our next pivot point. Okay, and we're going to establish some 1-hour levels as we move forward. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now, and on the 4-hour, I'm going to tweak this up a little bit. Okay, because I want to give you pretty good parameters for you to have. And again, hopefully you're on your charts marking this up as well. I'm going to go ahead and take this wick right here. I'm going to go ahead and move this wick up here. Okay, and then I'm going to leave this down because when we get down to the 1-hour now, we're going to see some perspective. So this right here is going to be our catalyst coming up at the beginning of the week, right? Do we close below 71 or not? Okay, that is going to be a pretty key indicator for where crude oil may start or end up at the end of this particular week. We've had a strong push down for the last weekly candle, but this could be the turning point for crude oil, barring that we gap down. And again, we'll be talking about the gap here in just a minute. So let's break down now the 1-hour. Okay, so let's take a look at the 1-hour view. Here is our 1-hour view. There is kind of our trend line touch. Now you can see here that, again, market closed, but these levels are going to help you stay grounded. So for the 1-hour, we are now going to add another level here. That was a level of support and resistance, because a lot of times you get into a trade and you don't realize why it turned on you. Well, there are levels amongst levels at every time frame. So you've got to do your best to plot these so you don't get stuck in drawdown, right? You would not want to be taking a buy position up here when you know there's a strong level of resistance. You would want to wait until this kind of situation. We break through, we come back, and we retest, and then we go up. Okay? Did everyone see that? I'm going to go and kind of grab this circle here. What you want to wait for, right? This would be a riskier move. Let's wait for the break and then see if we get the retest. Now, some people will enter on the impulse, and that's great. Sometimes, though, you enter on the impulse and you get a retracement back down. So understand that regardless of what your trading style is, we are trading from zone to zone in our trading app. We're going zone to zone, but this is the ideal. Price will usually come back to retest an area. So if you missed this buy because you missed it, it's okay. Don't start buying from up here because you have another resistance level. Set an alert and see if price will come back to retest in that area. So now we're looking at that over here as well, right? What is price going to do in this particular level right here? Right now, we see we have an area of support. So we need to wait to see what's going to happen. And we will be talking about the gap situation in just a second here. So this is the view from the 1 hour. If we kind of make this a little bit larger here, right, and we kind of zone in, right in here, I'm not even going to look at fib levels right now because we really don't know with the gap, what is going to happen, right? If I was going to throw a fib level, I would go from this high to this low, okay? And then we would start looking at continuing to trade with the trend. We are still in a bearish trend on crude oil. This up here would be our next area that we would look to sell. But again, because we have a lot of unknowns, the market week hasn't started, we don't have that data yet to let us know what may happen. Again, the gap is going to kind of take a look at that on Sunday open. And then as we get into Monday, the oil charts really become clearer as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay. And that's why we do such a great job in our trading app, updating every couple of hours what is going on, because Sundays and Mondays are not the best time to trade crude oil. Tuesdays through Thursdays are definitely the most profitable because the market in some way, shape, and form has kind of tipped its hand in many cases. And we talk about a lot about that inside the group. So we really want to wait, but at the same time, we want to go ahead and take advantage of our scalping opportunities as we kind of move forward. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this gap situation. And what we're going to do is we are going to move over to a 15-minute chart. Okay, so we can see here that we had a lot of consolidation kind of to close out our Friday afternoon trading after we had some massive drops. So this is where we're at. So we are going to mark this up as our gap. Okay, that is going to be our gap. And again, if you don't know what the gap is, that gap is nothing more than this is where price closed on Friday. Now, what will usually happen on a Sunday is, for example, if price opens up at a higher level up here, usually what happens is price runs away for a while, right? And then eventually comes back to close the gap, right? Vice versa, if gap closes way down here at a lower zone, usually for the first few hours, unless it's a very tight gap, gap will run away and then gap will close back. Now, let me tell you that in today's volatile market, just be very careful, okay, trading the gaps, because sometimes they don't close in a few minutes. Sometimes they don't close in a few hours. Sometimes they can take a few days. So gap trading should be where you are looking to maybe hold that trade and use a very small lot size. I mean, listen, you got a few $100 in your account, right? 10 cents, 0.01, right? Because understand that this is a trade that can stay open for a few days, especially in today's volatile market. I would use extreme caution. Okay, extreme caution, because these gaps are staying out longer than usual. Okay, so getting back now to our analysis, let's take a look at the gap situation, and we're going to begin to wrap up crude oil. So this is what we have to look for. We understand that we are having these situations here, and we are, we closed Friday on this area of consolidation, right? So what is going to be your safe bet for now? Right? Safe bet for now is, because of where price is on crude oil, okay, I am going to strictly look to buy crude oil if price dips any lower. Okay. So, my buy zones are going to be down in this section. I have to wait for gap to open. Okay. And then looking at buy stops up after we clear this level up in here. Okay. Buy stops in this area up in here. And so that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. But we are going to wait till Sunday market opens later today and see where price is going to be. Okay. And the reason why we're going to have buy stops here is because we're going to let price break this area, come back. So between buy stops or buy limits, we're going to be using these two areas if price does come up to the top side on Monday. Okay. If price drops down into this area, then back in here, we're going to be looking at sell limit orders. Okay, we're going to be looking at sell limit orders just because of what's going on and the price. Again, I'm going to let price drop. I plan to only trade one side of the market, which is going to be for now buying crude oil if we get price to come down into these levels. So either way, we are going to trap price in this area. Okay, we are going to trap price in this area. And again, we will update you as we move forward. Okay, so that is kind of what we are, looking at when it comes to crude oil. And my camera has decided to zoom in a little bit on me here. So let me go back to this full layout here. And so what we want to do now is we kind of want to take a look. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab this chart here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this link. And I'm going to go back over to the studio real quick, right? And I'm going to go ahead and do a quick stop screen. And I'm going to do a quick present share screen. And I'm going to go ahead and go over into our app. And I'm going to drop this into our members here as promised as we are going along. And we'll do this for every chart. And again, this is a great opportunity. If you have not yet jumped into our trading app, again, you're going to be updated here all the time with trade alerts as we are moving forward. Again, we've got our chat zone and social feed as we are moving through. Let me go ahead and send this real quick to our members. Perfect. We are going to have our, chat feed here. We would love for you to have you. We've got tutorials for you here that you can definitely learn as we move through. We've got a 20 pip challenge that we'll talk more about. But again, if you stay until the end of today's live stream, I'm definitely going to give you some extra value when it comes to that as well. So let's go ahead and jump back into the charts now. And we are now going to take a look at natural gas. And again, natural gas has been, extremely, extremely tricky. Okay. We had this nice bounce up from this area. So all of our traders in our trading app are already closed their profits for the most part over the weekend on this natural gas. So we had a super nice buy from this area that was given in the trade alert section. But what is going to happen next? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And we are going to go over to our daily time frame. And we are going to kind of see what is happening on our daily time frame when it comes to natural gas. And again, we still have lots of gaps that have not been closed up at these levels over here, natural gas. Okay, that is still open and that is still open. And so, price eventually should begin to creep up. So we took that nice opportunity there as we move forward with natural gas. So again, and just as a quick reminder, for those of you that decide to stay until the end of the stream, I'm going to give you an opportunity to join our 20 pip challenge. I'm going to give you a bonus also at the end of the stream if you are not yet a member in our trading app. So stay tuned for that. And hey, if you're getting some value on today's video, definitely hit that share button, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. And if this is your first time here, definitely want to welcome you. Hit the subscribe button and hit that notifications bell so you can definitely join us on future streams as well. Okay, so let's go ahead now and jump into natural gas. Let's kind of take a look at what is going on. And a quick shout out to Sabrina. Today is her anniversary. So she's very thankful. She started super early. She's been with us for quite a while, super successful. So a huge shout out to you as well. Okay, so natural gas. We are at that floor that we talked about before. Okay, we were at that floor that we gave our members a little bit ago, which was last week. So we are currently at that floor. For now, we've got to respect that floor. Okay, that's on a daily time frame. When we look at the 4-hour time frame, okay, we again, natural gas will gap as well. Where it will gap, whether it be higher or lower, we don't know. But for now, I'm going to mark up these key levels for you so that you have them. Okay, so that you have them. This is going to be an area that we've seen a lot of previous rejection. Okay, this is an area that obviously we've seen rejection to both sides. So the best bet with natural gas is going to be, if this remains the floor down in here, okay, we might even come back to get a retest down in here. The best thing to do for natural gas, I'm gonna move this a little bit higher, okay, is to go ahead and trade obviously from zone to zone. Okay, we had taken this buy, okay, earlier last week. Some folks took a sell. I did not take a sell. I'm the same way as crude oil right now. I'm only looking for buys on natural gas. So if natural gas gives me another buy down in this section, I will be buying again. If natural gas closes above this section, we need this to happen right here. So I'm going to kind of leave this target right here. This broke, closed, retested perfectly, and then came up to the next zone. So that's what we're going to look for here, right? So we're going to look for that, but we're not going to look for that on a 4-hour time frame. We're going to look for that on a 15-minute time frame. Okay, we're going to look for that on a 15-minute time frame. So as I kind of zoom in here into my learning circle, okay, and again, shout out to all of you that are here. If you can just pick up one thing, then I will do. That's my job, is to be able to help you see something that somebody taught me years ago, and now I can share it with others, right? So we're looking for that type of, retest to eventually come back up. But we did that over here in this zone. Price broke. Here was the retest, okay? And then we came back up. Price came back down to test again. We went back up, okay? So I will allow the sells to happen. I will allow the sells to happen. I'm looking for buys at these levels if we come back to this level. If we get that closure up above this 2.09 area, 2.1 area, then I'm looking for this scenario to happen again and trade it right back up zone to zone. And again, don't get greedy, folks. Okay, in everything we do, right, we're always looking for 20 pips. Or if you're also, if you're also trading in the futures, right, you're looking for 20 ticks, 20 pips or ticks to secure or profit, right? And that's why we're doing a 20 pip challenge, and we're going to help you grow your account with giving you 20 pips, 20 ticks per day in our trading app so that you can grow this 20 pip challenge daily in your account. Okay. And there's a whole video on that. Once you join the club, I explain it. I give you the growth chart, and all of that information is for you. That's just part of being a member in the club as well. Okay. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking for natural gas. Again, any push down, then I'm looking to buy more natural gas. And if natural gas closes above, then I'm looking for a retest of this area, which is about 2.10, to take it back up at least 20 clicks, 20 pips at a time for natural gas. Okay, so that is kind of the evaluation on natural gas. If you're getting some value on natural gas, definitely let me know in the comments. That is awesome. That is awesome, because I know we have several natural gas traders inside of our trading app as well. So if you want to see more natural gas stuff, definitely let me know. Okay, we are now going to move on to our next chart. And so our next chart, actually, instead of going back and forth, club members, I am going to save this chart. And again, I'll be sharing these charts with you inside of the trading club when I'm done with this live stream here. Okay, our next is, let's take a look at the NAS100. So for those of you that trade the NAS100, one of my favorite as well. Okay, let's start over at our daily. We saw a little retracement there. Now, again, the indices, so overbought across the board. So overbought across the board. But I'm going to give you these key levels that you need to kind of take a look at as we move forward with the NAS100. Okay, so again, mark these up. I'll start calling these out here in just a minute. I'm going to mark that. So we've got about 17,694 to the top, 17,057 right in here, 16,539 there. We're going to go ahead and mark up 16,138 there. And again, we really don't have, if you look over to the left, right? We really don't have a lot of data, obviously, because all these newer highs that are being made. So as we get down to smaller time frames, understand this is a daytime time frame. Okay. Now, what I am noticing is, right, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of rejection near this 16.7 area. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Not that we're not going to can't go any higher the way this crazy thing is doing it, but I do see that we are going to have to come back to this level. There is a lot of liquidity sitting right here at about 16,883. Okay. 16,783. I'm sorry. 16,783. So 16,8, I'm sorry, 16,853. So that would be dropping back into the 16,000s. Okay. We are currently at 17,621. All right. Sorry, I haven't had enough coffee this morning. So these are the levels we're looking at. And as we drop down to the 4-hour, right, here is our level that, again, for the NASDAQ, right, we see that level right in here, right? I am not a buyer of the NASDAQ. I will completely be a seller of the NASDAQ. I'm going to wait for gap. But again, I'm expecting that the NASDAQ this week, we are definitely going to come back to revisit this level right in here. Okay. And I'm going to put that in yellow. Okay. I believe even if we get a gap up and we push, that we are going to come back at least to this level. All right. The NASDAQ needs another type of a retracement. Okay. A healthy retracement, kind of like this retracement right here. This healthy retracement. So I'm expecting something like that, wherever that high is, right back into this area. So again, I would not be surprised if maybe we push up one more time. But again, up in these areas, okay, I'm looking to continue to sell area is going to be up here on the NASDAQ. Okay, we need some form of retracement. So again, depending on what the market does, we will gap. But even if we gap up, again, I'm a seller of the NASDAQ, and I'm looking to take the NASDAQ down for another healthy retracement to at least back down to about 17,100. Okay, this level right in here. Okay, this was a smaller retracement if we measure it, right? So that retracement here, if we started here, would still get us pretty darn close to that level. This was the bigger retracement we saw back over here. Okay, so even if we have a smaller retracement, this is going to be a key level. Now, for the NASDAQ, we would need to close below this 17.1 level, okay, to retouch back up this level if we're going to drop further back to our next major level of about 16.5. Okay, so that's what we're looking for this week on the NASDAQ. Again, I am staying away from any buys. I am only focusing in on selling the NASDAQ for this week coming up based on these highs that we currently have. So the NASDAQ can shoot up another 100 points and I will start selling versus buying the NASDAQ. I am not buying NASDAQ from highs. Okay. Do not buy from highs. Okay. So that's the kind of overall beginning of the week look on the NASDAQ. Okay. Awesome. So hopefully you are getting some good content here. Hey, I appreciate the feedback, crude oil trade signals. Hey, great stuff. I appreciate that. Awesome. Sabrina's letting me know that, yes, she's only looking for sales on the NAS as well. So we are on the same page. Awesome. Okay. So again, club members, I will drop this chart in the app when we are done and along with our updates. And we'll also be on probably live at 6 p.m. for gap trading as well. But let me save this chart so I can save it to you. Okay, next, let's take a look at the US30. All right, US30, of all the three, the US30 obviously moves a lot faster. Okay, and I always do this pen thing. Moves a lot faster. So we've got to use a lot of caution with the US30. Again, I do not suggest trading the US30 if your account is under $1,000. It's just, it's even on the regular Forex side, right? You're still trading $1 a pip, right? On the future side, don't forget that there are many contracts that you can trade along with the regular contracts, but there's nothing wrong with stacking 3 or 4 mini contracts, right? I do it all the time versus trading a full contract, especially if you get the market wrong, then you could re-enter on a standard contract there as well. So kind of keep that in mind as you are, moving forward with your analysis as you go week to week. Okay, so let's kind of take a look at what is going on here now, and we are going to drop back into our US30 chart. And again, we're talking all-time highs, right? So we really can't focus in too much of that. So because there's a wick here, I'm going to mark this up as the high. Okay, because there's a wick there, will it come back to that particular level on US30? Now what I want to do is I just want to start marking the obvious zones, which are not too obvious because, again, just because where price has gone. But that's a floor and a roof. That's a floor and a roof. That's a floor and a roof. And let's see if we see anything else right in here. Let's drop in probably our next major floor and roof will be there. Okay. So let's kind of zoom in now and let's get over to our 4-hour chart. Okay. And so now we're going to look for areas. And again, we'll be just dropping sell stops coming up in the app. I'll be giving you all some sell stops. But again, for now, same thing here, right? I'm only selling US30. I don't plan to buy any more US30. So this is the high that we have. Even if they gap up, I'm looking to only sell. I do not trade. Again, do not trade the highs of these indices. Okay. They will burn you. We're in for a major retracement, in my opinion. We're in for a major retracement to overcorrect some of this stuff, let alone all the fundamental news that is happening. Airstrikes. Are we getting into another war? There's just a lot of possibilities. And I'd rather sit on the sell side than on the buy side. Okay. So we had this rejection of this area right here, right? So now we have to wait for gap, but we know we've got our zones, right? So now what we do is we just strategize, right? We begin to strategize on a smaller time frame, these levels right in here, right? So we are going to be, I'm not going to put this out here yet. This will be exclusive to the Trading Club members, but we're going to have targets down in this area that I will give you based on price action, okay? Based on price action. For now, I'm not going to do anything in this area. I'm going to want price to come below here before we start taking action. And again, you'll be updated as we move forward. But for those of you on the live stream who are not in the app, again, feel free to take these zones, mark these up, because these are going to be the key levels moving into this week of trading. Okay, moving into this week of trading. We did make a new high up here. So we may push up one more time to see if we create a new high. And how you'll know that is if we don't create a new high, then we should start little by little trickling back down. Okay, trickling back down. Once we break here, my first target is going to be this area right here, 38,314. Okay, that'll be about 200 pips once we break this level right in here. We've seen it already happen once. We've seen it happen twice. Once we get here and we close below, we're going to push down to this level again. And again, I'll have an alert up here. As a matter of fact, let me do it right now, right before the zone, so I can get it out to you all in the trade alert section just in time. So I'm going to wait to see where that gaps so I can have an alert. Let me save that. And that is US30 on these particular entries here. Let's drop over to SP 500. Okay. Again, massive, massive highs. We've been making new highs on the SP. Again, this is one that if you have a smaller account, even on the Forex side, this is a good pair to trade because, again, these move, 20, 30 points for the most part. Sometimes they'll move 50 or 100. But again, it's $1 a point depending on your broker. With my broker, it's definitely $1 a point on the S&P. And if you need low spreads, you need a broker, just go to the video link section. I'm going to give you a bunch of resources as well that you can take advantage of. Once this live stream is over, head over to the video description area of this live video, and you can see other content there. So let's go ahead and mark up our high, which is going to be 49.74. Again, there's no doubt we're going to hit 5,000 on S&P. Whether we're going to hit it, this week or not, I don't know. The way it's moving, we probably can't not assume we're going to finally hit 5,000 and then begin a massive trend down. But for now, I just want to mark up that 49.81 is our current high. We want to mark up this area where we've seen two bounces, 48.39. We want to mark up this area where we've seen several bounces, which is 46.60. And that's just on the daily, the big obvious ones that stand out. And then we had definitely resistance there as well. So as we drop back down to the 4 hour, now we get a much better picture. But again, I always like to mark up on the daily first, because now I can kind of tweak this. And then as we jump into lower time frames, right, like the 1 hour, I can find areas of support and resistance. So we'd rather wait for breaks and retests or areas like that, right? So this is sometimes, again, we talked about it. This could be a mistake here, right? We've got to be careful that we don't begin to sell here, because this is, previous resistance over here, right? Previous resistance could turn into support, right? Could turn into support. So this is why we need a threshold break of a candle to then come back up to then move down further on the S&P. Same thing on the S&P for me. I am only looking for sells only on the S&P. Okay, I'm only looking for sells on the S&P. So anything back up here for new highs, great opportunity to begin selling. So for now, we're waiting here. I'm going to set an alert in this area. And again, I'll share this chart in the trade alert section in the app at the end of this live stream. But again, I'm waiting for price to eventually break through and give me this scenario over here for a fall. Okay, I'm not going to play in this little small area. You can dance all day here. I'm going to wait for either a push up and then I'll create a new high and we'll take a bounce off that, or we're going to wait for this scenario over here. But again, we should see some major corrections on these indices moving forward. And so again, my overall target is that we revisit this 48.39 area. Okay, that we revisit that 48.39 area. Okay, but again, I need to see breaks and retests in this area right in here, and I would hone this down to this area right in here. Okay, so again, meaning candle closure, and then we have to see a little bit of this and this. And sometimes, we miss the impulsive move, right? Maybe some news comes out and this just shoots down 50 points and we miss it. Oh, well, not a big deal. We missed it, right? Not a big deal. We missed it. But at least we have a plan, and that plan, we must stick to our plan if we plan to be successful with trading. Okay. So that is kind of the three indices as we are moving forward. And we're going to now go to a couple more pairs. I just saw this comment here, Abdul. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. I hope you're getting some value. It's a Sunday morning for me, and early church. Come in, do this with you guys and ladies, and then be able to just give you guys massive value. Okay, that's what it's all about. When you have a community, it makes trading that much easier to trade, especially by all the testaments and testimonies that we are receiving. So now that we are on SP, let's drop over to a couple more charts that I wanted to share, and that is going to be gold. All right, we have absolutely been crushing gold. Okay, gold has been very, very nice to us in the app. Okay, so we again are going to mark up gold, and we are going to mark up gold. Always never disregard these wicks. Okay, never disregard these wicks, because what this means is that price, institutional money came in to drop that price very fast, and more times than not, they're going to come back up to grab their money. Okay, this wick pushed very quickly. Look how far down we went for a while, and then what happened? They came back up to grab their money. They're not going to leave trillions of dollars on the table. Okay, that's institutional trading. So that being said, we are going to mark this up, but we are going to be very hesitant, or not very hesitant. We're going to be very informative of the areas that we trade. And just like we do, we're just going to trade zone to zone and area to area, understanding and looking at wicks and looking where they are going to take price. Okay, so this is kind of the daily view. Let's go over to our 4-hour view so we can kind of adjust these areas as needed. And again, remember that zones are never a straight line. You've got to give yourself an area to work with, right? You got to give yourself an area to work with. So I'm going to move this up because of all these wicking up in here. Okay, but now that I see that we had wicks here, I'm going to drop another zone there, 2038. I've got 2009 here to the bottom. I've got a lot of price action telling me I got to create something at about 2023 because, again, we're just looking for 20 to 30 pips at a time. That's the way we're growing these accounts to some nice, healthy accounts. So I don't need 80 pips, right? I just need 20 pips a day. That's all we focus on. 20 pips a day. If you want to go get more, go get more. We're going to give you 20 pips a day in all these charts with all of our trade alerts. 20 pips a day is going to grow your account. Okay, it's going to grow your account. So what are we looking for here? Well, we've got to see what happens with gold at the open. We are at a area right now of previous resistance. Okay, now we had a big flush here of gold. Okay, which was on Friday during London session. Now, again, it is a brand new week, right? But usually what would happen is when you get a big push of a candle, it's usually a big push, retracement, and then continuation, right? So we should see that based on technical analysis that we are at a zone. We had the big push, but because it's Sunday and the market can open all the way up here, right? That throws that out the window, or it can open down here, right? So we have to really wait for the Sunday, Monday. Then gold is not something that we want to jump in unless there's a huge gap. Then we will trade that together in the app later this evening. So that's kind of the look at gold. We need to wait. We're going to trade from level to level. There's nothing to predict on gold because gold is considered a safe haven. So if things begin to ramp up, okay, we start talking about wars and things of that nature, gold is going to go up. Okay, gold is a safe haven. Okay, so that's where people put their monies when they feel there's a lot of critical stuff happening in our world. Okay, people go to gold, they go to silver, and they go to those things. So I'm not discarding that we cannot come back up with some crazy news to come back up to visit 2144, right? There's a possibility. But guess what? We are going to trade from zone to zone. We're going to trade first from this zone to this zone, and then we're going to wait. And then we'll be alerted if price breaks. We are then going to go higher. If we reject, we are going to go lower. We are going to go zone to zone, 20 to 30 pips at a time, and we're going to trade. And that's it. That's how trading really becomes easier when you just trade zone to zone. Okay. When you trade zone to zone, it makes your life a lot easier in what you're doing. So that's kind of the angle that we approach when it comes to trading that. Okay. So hopefully you're getting some value on gold as well. Let's jump over to some of our Forex pairs. Let me save this for our members. All right. Hopefully you're getting some value. So I want to just go over GJ and then EJ, and then we are good to go. So again, congratulations to all those members who took the pound with the yen. You had the opportunity for some massive profits, right? We went down 312 pips before this retracement happened with almost zero drawdown. So congratulations to our members who took that. But guess what? That is now old news and what is going to happen now with GJ. So let's get rid of this. Let's go over to our daily chart, and we can see here, right, that we have to obviously respect this area right in here. So we're coming right back up to that area. Okay, we are coming right back up to that area. If we look over to the left, nothing, the black hole, right? We've been super high, all-time highs on GJ as well. So we really need to see what is going to happen here, right? It is pretty clear that we should be coming back up to this level again. If we drop a Fibonacci from where this immediately began to go down to where we wicked right in here, you can see here that we wicked that nice area that we love to see, which is right before that 88.6. So if it wasn't Sunday open, right, I would tell you, okay, we're looking for our next sell here to continue bringing GJ back down. But because it's Sunday, we're going to wait because, again, there will be gaps, right? And I never like that Sunday. Sunday's not really a time to trade unless we're trading on massive gaps. So we wait until Monday because Monday will let us know, because if price comes up on Monday, then we begin to sell up here. And again, we'll have those alerts in the app. So GJ right now, this is the high 189. Okay, of course, like anything else, if we break the high, then we're looking at price going higher. But again, same thing on GJ. Sells only for me. Okay, and I'll be having these alerts and letting you all know. So I'm going to set an alert right now. If we do come back to the zone, right, we will begin to look at price action to sell GJ again from these high points one more time, because we have evidence that we've been there a lot of times. But like anything else, price will knock so many times, eventually the door opens, right? So let's not get caught in a lot of the mistakes that I made in my first 3 years, being that typical retail trader. Oh, it's going to come back here again. Of course it's going to reject. No, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go take out these highs. They're going to take out everybody sitting right here with their sell limit orders. They're going to go higher, and then they'll start coming down. Okay, especially that if you look right here, right, when you begin to see some of these, equal highs sitting right here, they're going to come back to take out those equal highs. So this almost indelibly is going to push, I think, higher. So up in here, we start looking for sell opportunities, not here where every retail trader right now has a sell limit there again. Okay. And again, if your risk is okay with that nothing wrong. You're going to grab probably 20 pips easy, especially with GJ, because it moves. But I'm going to wait for the beginning of the week and see what happens Sunday into Monday. If we get a deeper push, then we begin to sell here. But again, the alert's in place, and I will update you all in the app as we move forward. Okay, so that is GJ. And then our last favorite pair that we've been absolutely crushing as well, because a lot of times they move pretty synonymous with the other JPY pairs, is going to be EJ. So we're going to mark this high area on GJ. I'm sorry, on EJ. We're going to mark this area on EJ. We're going to mark this area on EJ. And then we're going to mark this area for now on EJ. Again, this is the daily chart. So again, we've got to really find out and see what is going to happen here on this fib level. We normally would begin to look for these next sell in this area, because again, we did not create higher highs. Okay, we did not create higher highs. So we have a low, lower high, a low, a lower high, a low. So unless we break above this area, which is 164.36, right? This changes the pattern to a more bullish pattern. In the meantime, we are in this intermediate lower lows and lower highs on this daily time frame that we're at. Okay, so we will see if price gives us an area up here to then sell again to create a new low. So we'll be looking for sells up in this area. But again, we're not going to do anything on a Sunday. We're going to wait until market opens and then see what happens on Monday London session. And then that'll give us an opportunity to look a little bit deeper into what we are doing. And again, I'm going to set an alert right in this area so I could be alerted and share that information with you as well as we move forward. Okay, awesome. So that is kind of was our, our breakdown. And yeah, Sabrina, EJ for the win. Awesome. And again, listen, I wanted to tell you, if you stuck around, this long, I definitely want to give you and just invite you an opportunity to possibly join us in our trading app. And so, anyone who comes on today as a result of this live stream, right, I'm actually going to give you a 30-minute coaching and growth plan Zoom call, one-on-one, you and me, in addition to obviously all the value you're going to get on there as well. So again, you can go over to theprofessortrades.com. And if you join today as a result of this live stream, again, my members will tell you the commitment levels you're going to get, but more importantly, how the price point is I'm making it affordable, because it basically pays for the platform to be able for you to come in and learn with a bunch of great people like Sabrina, who's in there every day and commenting and everything else. So if you join today, you're paying less than $1 a day. If you join on the annual plan, it's like 80 cents a day. So either way, I've got two plans for you, less than $1 a day. You can cancel anytime if you don't get value. Again, our retention rate is 97% over the last 2 months since we started, and there's a reason why that's happening. So come in, get excited. You're going to meet some awesome people. You'll be able to connect, privately chat with people, whether you're a London trader, US session trader. We definitely want you to come in and get some massive value on that. And again, I don't know why my camera is zooming in so much, so I am backing out from the screen a little bit just to be a little bit more personable. So again, hope you got some value on today's live stream. Members, you'll get all these updates in the charts as well. Also, you'll get the link to this recording as soon as it's done. So those that are sleeping on other time zones can definitely take advantage of it. Hey, if you got some value, again, smash that like button for me. If you like these type of maybe Sunday market analysis where they're live versus a pre-recorded video, let me know that down in the video comments that you want to see more of these. And then maybe we can do this more often on a Sunday versus just one video of crude oil. It takes a little bit longer, but again, we've got over 30 of you still here live based on what I can see on the screen. So hopefully you're getting some massive value. Okay, enjoy the rest of the day. God bless you and your families. I did want to put this thing up here again. Thank you for watching. I don't know why this camera is zooming in on me, but I'm heading outside to enjoy the day here in Miami for a little bit. For those of you in the app, we'll be on at 6 o'clock so we can take a look at any major gaps that may be happening. God bless you all, and we'll see you soon.